so much wrong in my life. Wish I can double back and make everything right, so I can live a fly life. And live a fly life. Too many people done hurt me in the past. Stab me in my back, that's why I don't look back. Lord, please live a fly life. And live a fly life. Yeah.
Yo, we back in the building, Fligh TV. It's your boy Wesley, aka Mr. Stay Down Till You Come Up. And I got a special guest in the building, man, who I'm interviewing today, man. What's good with you, fam?
What's up, man? Everything going all right?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So look, if y'all didn't know, I got my fam with me, Quaysean Davis, head coach, right? Technical County.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're gonna be doing his interview today, man. It's a long time coming.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I hit him up. I told him, you know, fam, I need you to do this interview for me, man. We want to inspire the youth with your story. You know, I know a lot about you, but it's a lot I don't know.
Right.
It's a lot that the people don't know. So first off, man, how you doing, bro? You all right?
Hey, I'm good, man. I'm well, man. Happy. Living, busy.
Yeah.
Healthy. So I mean, all is well.
All right.
So,
That's
about you?
Man, I'm good, man. So I want to get down to it, man. We'll get down to a couple questions, man. So first off, congratulations.
I appreciate it.
All right, I want to tell you, you know, man to man, face to face, I'm proud of you.
Appreciate
you know.
it.
And,
Same, likewise.
Yeah, every time I see you, you know, it made me feel like I accomplished something by seeing you. You get what I'm saying?
That's real.
Just by seeing you doing good. I had somebody that grew up with me that's not in the streets, that's actually out here doing something positive, that grew up right up under me. You get what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So when I see you, it's like, all right, I see somebody that's doing good, something positive. So I'm proud of you.
I appreciate that. That's the goal, man. Just you know, positivity. It's the same, man. You know, we grew up together, you know, for a short period of time.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, likewise, as a man, I'm proud of you as well, man. You're doing a lot. You're doing your thing for sure.
So, all right. So, Glenville, Georgia, born and raised. Was you born in Glenville?
Well, I guess Reidsville.
We know Glenville ain't got
yeah. but yeah. So yeah, up until you know, I would say third grade or something like that. But yeah, and yeah, right there, Burns Village.
So you've been in Burns Village the whole time?
My younger years, yeah. A lot of it kind of run together, but yeah, we stayed. I can't remember the apartment numbers, but we stayed in that one. We stayed in one in the front, and then we moved into one that was in front of y'all in the back. Yeah. So yeah, well, actually, I was behind y'all, and then I moved in front of y'all.
Yeah.
Too. So, but yeah, up until then, and then my mom met a guy, and then we moved. We moved to Atlanta, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was. I think y'all was
gone by then.
Yeah. So we moved to Atlanta. Stayed up there for a few years, moved to Statesboro, was in Statesboro for about a year, and then I came back in 6th grade.
Yeah.
Came back to Tatton in 6th grade.
So it's a lot of talent in Glenville. It's a lot of people in the streets, a lot of people, you know, into a lot of things in Glenville. For it to be a small place, it's a lot going on. Plus there's a lot of pride in Glenville.
Oh, yeah.
So what was it like for you growing up in Glenville?
I mean, looking back, when you're a child, you don't really know.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody around you is the same thing. You know, you kind of, you know, I guess that was our little world. So you don't really think about it being bad, but as an adult now, you know, we grew up kind of rough. You know what I'm saying? Which I wouldn't have it any other way. But single parent household. You know, my mom always, you know, was gone working or trying to find a way, I guess, to make ends meet. So, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, I was outside most of the time. A lot of the times I was just, I'd be in Charles'
place. We was definitely outside.
You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, when we was talking before we even, you know, started, you know, we playing football. That was kind of my first passion growing up. You know, you and your bro, Joseph, you know, and, you know, talking about, you know, Burns Village playing B&D or you know, we just playing football, trying to play basketball, some type of sport. I even remember in that little field. We used to play.
Right on the side of the house.
Yeah.
So we had
baseball.
right on the side of our house.
Yeah.
So we had the field by the green thing
Yeah,
over there.
yeah.
And then
marbles.
had.
I remember playing marbles, bro. We
Yeah,
just draw those. Yeah.
We used to draw that circle right there in the middle of the carpet in the living room.
Sure,
We had a little. You would be done ran all the grass out of your front yard.
Yeah.
Just playing marbles right there in the front yard. So that was the truth. So, your mama, single parent household. What about your dad?
So it's crazy. My dad was really never in my life early. Earliest I can remember, I don't know, maybe second grade. He came down once, and I guess he was trying to reconnect. And my dad's originally from Philadelphia, but he met my mom like in Statesboro, met her. And, he took me, I remember this vividly, but he took me to McDonald's, got something to eat, and then kind of just dropped me back off.
Yeah.
And then
You ain't seen him since then?
It's crazy because me and my dad have a really good relationship now.
Okay.
He loved my kids. He calls my kids. He calls them more than he calls me. So, but no, he was gone. You never really know what people go through and to make the decisions they make. I can't imagine leaving my kids, but I'm not faulting him for I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So, but he wasn't there, man, and I'm not saying I'm glad he wasn't there, but things worked out.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So I learned a lot by growing up the way I did, by not having a father, and it drove me to be a good father. You know what I'm saying? And me and my dad have a really good relationship. I don't know what transpired there, but now we have a good relationship now. It's just, I wouldn't change it.
Yeah. So, and you're 100% correct, because a lot of times we don't know what their relationship was or whatever he had going on to keep him away. He probably felt like he wasn't in the best position to even be around, his kids. People just make bad decisions sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's good because.
And it could be even, my mom could have been like, no, you ain't seeing him. I really have no idea. So, shout out to Pop.
Yeah, shout out to him, man. At least he around now.
Yeah. No, he always trying to call and my kids, they don't know what happened in the past or whatever, but they love Pop. We go up there. We take trips all the time. He lives in Atlanta now, so he's a little ways away, about 3.5 hours, which ain't terrible. So we'll drive up every now and again.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
So, man, one of my earliest, I got a lot of memories with you. Look, I used to tell, I used to tell my wife about you or whatever, but one of my earliest memories of you is we used to be on the side of the house, and I used to be like, all right, it'd be just me and you. I'm like, every time I'm throwing the ball, and I just throw you the ball until you started catching it.
Mm-hmm.
But every time you catch it, you'll fall down or whatever. And then it went from there to.
See, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it went from there to every time we did play this team against that team, I'm quarterback and I'm be like, Quaysean, my wide receiver, or whatever. But you don't remember that?
I do. I don't remember.
But you was super young though at the time though. You was young, so it's a lot of stuff that I don't remember when I was young. But I vividly remember that because we always played football right beside my house.
I remember playing football, and I remember y'all always trying to make us fight.
Mm-hmm. You and
Dion.
You and Dion, Tyree, yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that. I remember that, and I remember playing football right there, literally right beside the house. Yeah. I remember. I don't remember catching it.
How about when me and my brother, me and you and my brother went to Brother Tim's house. We used to go over there to play basketball, and then when we went over there, me and my brother started fighting.
Bro. Man, I ain't had no business hanging out with y'all. I was elementary school, obviously.
But the funny thing was, you probably was one of the only people we did hang out with.
I know. Yeah.
So you was the only one.
I was probably a little, with the way I grew up, I was probably a little mature for my age.
You was.
You know what I'm saying? I was one of the guys.
You was one of the guys. We used to put you through it too, bro. We used to put you through it.
I used to get mad and walk out. I grew up. Y'all used to make us fight all the time.
Yeah.
John, you know, some of everybody.
Because we used to fight so much, man. But we wasn't going though.
Yeah,
but that was my youngest memories of you. But I say that to say, you know, when I seen it, I always knew you was gonna do something. Right, I knew you was gonna be good at sport because you catch the ball, you'll never not catch it. Playing basketball, you know what I'm saying? It's like you tuck on to it real fast. So when did you have that time where you felt like, all right, I'm good at this, like I can do this?
I guess probably 7th grade.
Yeah,
is when like it clicked for me, and I realized I was better than, you know, a lot of kids my age, but. You know, it goes all the way back to those days, you know, playing football and you know, we didn't have cable. I didn't have a game. I didn't have a phone, iPad. All my kids. I didn't have any of that. So that forced you to go outside and pick up a ball and play, or, you know, which I could have been doing something else. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my friends was doing things they probably shouldn't have been doing, but I chose the sports route. So. But growing up, I never even really played rec ball, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I played 1 year rec football. I played 1 year rec baseball, and I never played like rec basketball. My first basketball game was in 7th grade, and that kind of changed a lot for me. You know, I had a coach that kind of, you know, that I met in 7th grade, Coach Altman. I have a real good relationship with him these days, and you know, he taught me a lot about basketball and just about being a person. And just changed a lot and changed my mindset, you know, in terms of basketball and you know, thinking I can kind of take this to the next level, because I never thought about, you know, going to college and playing basketball. College was never brought up in my house. Me and my mom never had a conversation about going to college. You know, I never thought I could go to college and play a sport. Yeah. You know, realistically, I'm being real, but 7th grade, we won the championship in 7th grade. Basketball, won the championship in 8th grade, basketball, but football we had successful seasons too. My 7th and 8th grade year I started quarterback, and we never won a championship in football, but we were very successful. We went in every game knowing that we had a chance to win. Yeah. You know, so it was, but I would say, you know, sports I've always played, you know, with friends. You know, we would always find like a random strip of grass that we could go and play, you know, a pickup game or play at a friend's house, basketball game. So I've always played, but, you know, I think it really clicked for me in 7th grade, and I was like, okay, I think this is my ticket to, you know, I guess my way to kind of get out my situation. I didn't, you know.
Yeah, nah, I'm going to correct you on something now. You did have that Nintendo 64 we used to make you bring to the house.
We did. I played wrestling.
Hey, ask your mama, you can bring the game over. Because other than that, none of us ain't had no game, but I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know how your mama. At one point in time, your mama had did that, and it was like she did that for all us.
Yeah. It was everybody game.
That was everybody game. I'm talking about.
Yeah, but, I do remember that.
So what? Okay. So what made you? Why do you think that you made that decision to get into sports versus doing what the other kids doing, like get into the streets? Because, you know, even when we went around, I think my dad was still kind of back and forth from Glenville, so he would tell us little stuff about you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you could have easily made a different decision and got into the streets and did what everybody else was doing.
Right.
So what made you not make that decision? What helped you go from that direction?
Couple things. I think coaches.
Yeah.
You know, I've always respected my coaches, had a good relationship with them. And I think I was good at it, and you know that's what brought, I guess, some attention to me, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So, So I had a couple coaches, my football coaches in middle school, my basketball coaches, and my football coaches when I got up here to the high school. You know, they had a huge influence on me. You know, and a lot of it, you know, they played sort of a dad role, so to speak, because they understood, you know, I guess my upbringing and things like that. So in ways they tried to help out and just teach me little life skills through the sports. You know what I'm saying? So I would just say those two things.
Was there any close calls with you kind of going in that direction?
No,
it just never was a part of your mind state.
I would never. I would be around some certain stuff, and I always felt weird when I was, and I would just kind of exclude myself.
That's good.
And then, but I always had like a different mindset than a lot of people, and I would say, I would say to myself as a 7th grader, I don't want to, I love my mom, and I don't know what her experience like was growing up, but I didn't want to live like this because I had other friends that I would go to their house and they got a game, they got their own room and a bed and like in their room and they got all this nice stuff. I'm like, I want that. You know what I'm saying? I want things to be a little different, for me, and I want it to be a good dad. Like I remember, a young 7th grade boy don't know any better, and I'm like, if I ever have a son, I ain't never leaving, just kind of mad with my dad, during that time. So just little stuff like that. I guess my situation and my upbringing, it gives you, like, now it gives you a lot of appreciation for, for what I do have and what I've, I guess what I was able to accomplish,
I would say it sounded like you was like just mentally strong, like based off of knowing how to, decipher right from wrong and making a decision based on that, because a lot of decisions people make, they live with them for a long time.
For sure, yeah.
Because the wrong decision, it can leave you stuck in that forever
for like
or
5
for
seconds.
A long time. That little slight decision. And just growing up where we from, it's a bad decision around every little corner, especially the older you get, the worse the decisions can be, or the better they can be.
Right.
Based off of the people you hang around, based off of the people you live with. You get what I'm saying?
Just your environment that you don't even have control over.
Yeah, you don't have no control.
Like, we didn't have control over what we grew up into. That's just the hand we was dealt.
Yeah.
And that you can't sit there and complain why this, and you gotta kind of try to make the best of it. I was lucky, because I never really even worked on sports. We just played a lot. And I guess that was us working on it. But kids nowadays, they have all this technology and things they can do that we're implementing in our basketball program. You know what I'm saying? And not just basketball, all of our programs, have so much. We didn't have those. We just played, and I was okay. People thought I was good, but I was like, overall, I was okay.
You was all right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we won, and I had some success on the football field and basketball court, but it's a lot of good kids out there, man.
Yeah. So you played all through middle school too?
So I played when I moved back in 6th grade from Statesboro. Remember I said Atlanta, Statesboro, and then I remember even being in Statesboro, coach was like, "Hey man, you need to play football." But I ain't never played. I played 1 year when I was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then we moved back, and it was kind of too late, And then like when I moved back to Glenville Middle. I guess I moved back. I don't know why. I really don't know why I didn't play.
Yeah.
Coach Hall was tripping on me, man.
Yeah. Man, Coach Hall was the truth. Coach Hall loved us.
He still comes to some of our games. It's crazy. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Cause you was small, right?
Yeah.
But once you had your little growth spurt, you was basically the same height as the rest
everybody.
Of us.
Yeah. That's true. And that came. I think a lot of things changed for me, mentally and physically around seventh grade.
Yeah.
And I was at and I think just going outside and playing, that helped a lot, man. But
what was like that life-changing moment for you? Because I know when you moved, y'all went to Statesboro, you went to Atlanta, Statesboro, and y'all back in Glenville. What brought y'all back to Glenville? Do you know?
No, I don't. I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah.
We don't ask no questions.
Yeah.
Boy, don't be asking questions.
And you had your older sister and you got your baby sister. All y'all was still together at this time.
Yeah, at that time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So all y'all moving, y'all ended up back in Glenville. What do y'all move to then?
So we moved to, was it the Now I don't even know if you know them blue houses, but they're over there on Henry Street. There's some blue houses by I can't even Yeah, so we moved to those houses. It was close to the middle school. I used to get up and walk to school and walk home and stuff. But I guess to answer your question, the thing that you asked me the life changing.
Yeah, like, cause I know all the moving around normally does something to people. It either makes people better, or it kind of, you know what I'm saying? It kind of separates them from people because they ain't got like that thing that you have with people that you grow up with.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like how military kids are. You
it could just different experiences. I never, until you said that, I never really thought about it. And I tell people now, I never left Glenville. And that's not true, because obviously when we did move, like I moved to Atlanta and met some good people up there. So I think those experiences did help me. Mm-hmm. You know, because I've got to experience different things and different people and learn from different people, because you do that, you know, naturally. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that experience did help me, I guess, more than, you know, now that I think about it. But, you know, one of the biggest decisions that helped me, like, in my life was leaving, you know, Glenville after high school, going off to play in college. So leaving, I guess, early on, which I didn't really have a choice in that. That did help, because I met some good people and I learned a lot, and I still have a lot of good memories.
And I say that, and the only reason I know that because we've been in Glenville like our whole life. Yeah. But at one particular time, we did live in Statesboro for a second for like a year or something like that, you know. Then we got kicked out and we had to come back. Then we had to come back. We got kicked out of everywhere. And then we had to come back to Glenville. But what changed things for me is when we moved to Little Wissy. Right. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So you coming from Glenville, being broke, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. People, everybody know you. They know you broke. You get what I'm saying? So then you go off to another school or another place. You got a chance to put a whole nother impression on people. You get not the chance to change yourself, but now this is your opportunity to show, like, you know, what you made up without early judgment, because they feel like they know you. And that's what changed kind of our life when we moved to Long County. People look at you differently. We was like the new kids. So. Right. They trust me, it was like night and day. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what I meant by all the moving around. Like, in what particular time throughout that, once you got back, when I came, did it kind of, was things different for you, or was it kind of the same?
It was sort of different, because a lot of time had passed by. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I wasn't in so when we moved, right before we moved back to Glenville, I was in 6th grade, and you know, I guess at that time I did all right in school, but I had to go to summer school, and there was a bus that picked us up, you know, and I was going to summer school as the summer, and like during the middle of the summer we moved back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we moved back, and so I went back to 7th. So I went in my right grade, so I moved back to 6th grade when I got back to Glenville, and I was with a different group, and I got lucky, and I got with a good group with a bunch of athletes, and so that changed a lot for me, man. That changed a lot for me when I came back. No, did I? Yeah, I did come back in 6th grade, and I didn't play that 6th grade year, and I ended up playing my 7th grade year. Yeah. So that was a big experience for me. Big experience change for me for sure.
Yeah. So now we all grew up in, you know, our own type of poverty or whatever. Now, with you, did you ever get a chance to, you know, see the shift in that? And like, for example, the shift in that for me would be, you know, once I turned 17 and I started working. Right? Yeah. So was there ever a shift in that, you know, throughout, you know, high school, or, you know, even with me through 8th grade, going into 9th grade, you know, my parents would get like a little disability check, so I would get like $60, $70. I'd go to City Trend and go buy me a little outfit so I can get clean. So kind of, that was like a shift for me to change to where I had some money, so I ain't doing things based off of what only my parents were doing. I can go and dress myself. Right. So I can kind of.
Man, I had a family. You know, when I moved in 6th grade, I met some good people, man. And me and this kid, we was really good friends. And I used to go to his house all the time. They had a pool, and his dad coached like in the rec. Mm-hmm. And so I would even, like, you know, a lot of, like, pretty much the whole football team would come swim, and then he'll drop everybody off. And then after he dropped everybody off, he keeping me, and I'm coming back to their house, just because me and this guy had a real good relationship. And I ended up staying over there all the time, and then going into high school, going into ninth grade, going into ninth grade, you know, I basically lived with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it kind of kept me away from, I wasn't in town like in the projects at this point. I was out of it, but the situation still wasn't you know what it needed to be. But so they helped in that matter. So that changed, and you know I just started probably eating the right foods that I needed in my life to be a, you know, a successful athlete. So that change would be for me when I moved in with them. I had a bed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had, you know, nice clothes and things like that, and I was comfortable and happy. You know what I'm saying? There's some stuff that as a kid that I had to worry about. When I shouldn't have to worry about as a kid, but when I moved with them, I didn't have to worry about those things.
Yeah. And that's like, once you get older, you grow to appreciate that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because, you know, just talking to my brother, everybody know who my brother is, going through sports and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Us moving, it made life better for me, but it didn't make life better for him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he wanted to be here and play sports where he was good at it. He had a good team. He had rapport with the coaches.
Yeah.
You know, so us moving took that away from him.
Yeah.
To me, that didn't really, you know, it didn't really do nothing for me. And the negative, it was all positive for me because, you know, I was into sports, but I could care less. Right?
Yeah.
I could care less. So, and people just gravitated towards me once I moved.
Right.
So, I say that saying that he wish he had the opportunity that you had to come and be like, if he said all the time, if I could have just stayed with my coaches or something, maybe my life would be a lot different. I could have went to college. I could have.
Yeah, he could have went to college. Yeah,
so,
I heard. I mean, I never got to watch him play. Maybe I did. I don't remember. But
you used to come to the games with us.
Yeah, but I just remember that joke of
we be
people
running
talking
wild.
about Joseph, this, you know.
Yeah.
And did he play 1 year in high school?
He played in Long County, but they was just so fresh far as football. They just wasn't good.
Yeah.
So just going through it, you know, they trying to overrun him because he was good. Like, he was good right out the gate with them.
Right.
So they using him for offense, defense. So they pretty much, he getting beat.
Everything, yeah.
And they not blocking like that. So he was just tired of losing, tired of getting beat down. And he was like, he couldn't do it.
I got you.
But there's a lot of kids that just stuck with it, that actually still went to college, even though they was getting beat. They probably ain't won the game all year, but at the end of the year, these kids still got scholarships and went. So it's still a matter of choices, right? But I see where he was coming from, because if he had somebody to do the same thing for him, his opportunity would have been different. So that's a good thing for far as anybody that did that.
There's a lot of people that helped me out. You know, they obviously saw something in me that, you know, that I thought I had, but, you know, I had no idea. You know, I really had no idea. I was just out here, you know, just trying to be the best person and player I could be, you know, but a lot of people saw something in me and really poured into me and taught me a lot. More so, not even just about sports, man, but about, and I learned a lot on my own through just personal experiences, but, you know, shout out to those people, man. They looked out, and that's a big reason why I got into coaching. I wanted to give back what was given to me.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So
that's dope, though. So you done made it. So once you get into high school, did you come out the gate just the quarterback, or come out the gate as the point guard, or how did that experience go?
You hear, like, you know, kids talk, so.
But don't even think about the sports soccer. I think I'm back up, because I remember my first year in high school, the anxiety of it and everything that. So let's just say, before you even got into the sports, what was your first year going into high school? Because that's a life-changing thing too. Like, what was your first year like? What did you expect, and what did you get out of it?
Nervous, a bunch of nerves. I didn't know what to expect. Like, you know, I never necessarily thought negative, but I just I didn't believe in myself like I should have. Like, other people believed in me, you know, personally, you know. So I just thought, what if I fail this, or what if I don't, you know, just some negative thoughts, you know, in terms of. So I was always a pretty good student. I wasn't a good test taker, but as far as my work, I could understand the information. But so I was nervous about the school part. in terms of, but that worked out. You know, I graduated with honors, surprisingly. But
Now, was you a people person? So did you have like a lot of friends? I already know you had a lot of cousins around. But did you have like a lot of friends and stuff like that? Because that's what helped me in school. The friends part, I had like 2 or 3 that I was cool with, but I had a lot of cousins in school. I still had people that I can, you know what I'm saying, gravitate to.
You know, since 7th grade, I still talk to a lot of those guys that I played ball with. That's like your, you know, it's like your fraternity. You know what I'm saying? Just within sports. So, I got along with a lot of people, man. With a lot of different groups. You know, you don't want cliques, but you know, school has cliques. But I got along, man. I was pretty. I would consider myself as a genuine person. You know, I wasn't really drama affiliated. You know, I don't want to sit here and talk about the next person. I had I wanted to focus on myself.
And no fights and none of that.
Nah, man, I got all the fighting out with y'all.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, there ain't no way that you wasn't out here like not one, because we had you going early.
I didn't want to fight, man. I wanted peace.
But that was just a mentality, like. Obviously, your mental was way better than ours, because with us, we come outside, you thinking you only going through it. When we go outside, guess what we got to do? We got these older kids on our head, which I was talking to some of them the other day, matter of fact, on Facebook, the same ones that the same way to how we did you, that's what they did to us.
Right.
You get
that's
what I'm saying? So
sure.
you come outside in Glenville, somebody going to be trying to see if they can slam you. They're going to try to see if they can swing at you.
That's just what's going on. This is part of the culture.
So that's really all. And then, like, we still close on them people, so it was all love. It was never hate.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked. But when you got to the sports part to it, so what was that like going in? Because high school is different than middle school.
Right.
You got different coaches. You got different people, because you got Collins, Cobbtown, Reedsville. Who else I'm missing? Glenville.
Is
that it?
That's it.
So it had to be, it's more competition. You got more people that you kind of got to be better than.
Right. So going into, you know, like I said, 7th grade year and 8th grade year, we had a bunch of athletes. So we had a pretty successful year both years. We didn't win the championship. 8th grade year, we made it to the championship. We lost to Reedsville.
Yeah.
So out of our region, you know, the two teams in our county was the 2 better teams, and Reedsville beat us. So it was a bunch of competition, a bunch of athletes, and they could play, you know. But coming in, you know, it was a lot of high hopes, I guess. A lot of talks about me, because I was, you know, the quarterback, and I made a lot of plays, you know, at the middle school level on the field with my legs, and I could throw it a little bit at that time and on the basketball court. So, you know, a lot of people had, you know, the coaches had, you know, some praise for me to come up and, you know, I remember Coach Hassel telling me, man, if you ain't coming in ready to start, then I'm going to be upset. I remember him telling me that. High school football was a little different. You know, I ended up starting, but the backstory is the backup quarterback, we going through, you know, summer practice, and then school starts, and, you know, sometime August, you know, this kid gets into it with a coach, the starting quarterback at this time. And, you know, at this time I'm the backup. As a 9th grader, I'm the backup. But he's like, yeah, you know, something happened, and they just going back and forth, and, you know, just leave. They told the boy to just leave, and he kind of just walked off, and I'm like kind of in the middle of it. I'm like, oh shoot, you know what I'm saying? So he walks off the field, you know, and then I'm just sitting there, and the head coach is like, well, get in there, and you know what I'm saying? So I think, and ever since then, you know, it was kind of, I mean, that's what it's been. I started every game of my high school career. And grew up a lot, you know, as a and that was a lot of expectation comes with that in South Georgia. You know, that at that time it wasn't a lot of freshman quarterbacks starting. You know, I mean, I was raw too. I was just a good athlete. I wasn't necessarily a quarterback.
How you think you did?
Pretty good, man.
You did pretty good.
Well, we got better every year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wish I would have trained more, like on skill, like, you know, I wish I would have threw more. I wish I, you know, was better at reading coverages and things like that. I was always good at, I was tough and physical, and, you know, I knew how to make people miss in space.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I could control. I was a leader, and I could control control the offense. And we ended up, my senior year, we ended up winning the region, making it to the second round of the state playoffs, which at that time, you know, we didn't really know. We was making history, but we was just playing. We were just doing what I've done since 7th grade. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really know. But now I look at, you know, coaching at the same school. Yeah. I look at the impact we did have on the community, man. The stands was slap full. You know, both football and basketball games. So now we you know.
So it sounds like you like football more than basketball.
Now
at that time.
At that. Now when I was with y'all, I really liked football more because that's pretty much what we did. But yeah, I fell in love with basketball. I don't. It was in high school. I told myself I wanted to go to college to play. If I would have went to college, if I can go to college, it was to play basketball because I wasn't very big, you know, and only position I've ever played was quarterback. Yeah. And I knew, like in college football, I wasn't playing quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like,
unless you was like a little taller or something like that.
Like Georgia Southern was recruit me, and they went with some guy up north, you know, because he was bigger. You know what I'm saying? They liked me, but I just wasn't big enough. You know, and excuse me, and I didn't want to go to college if I wasn't playing quarterback. Yeah. Which that wasn't very smart, but I was like, I'm gonna go play basketball. It worked out.
Yep, because he could have gotten into it with the coach, and next thing you know, come on.
yeah, come play quarterback for me. But nah, that's you know, it worked out. It worked out how I wanted it to.
Yeah. So when did the transition come into playing? Because you was the point guard for the basketball team, right? Yeah. Was you starting point guard?
Yeah. So I started quarterback, and then I ended up starting my freshman year in basketball too.
So the freshman year you was the point guard for basketball team too?
Yeah.
So, and everybody can't say that.
Not a lot,
right? Not a lot of people, right? I only know one other person who is Iverson, I think.
I know some people.
I just being funny.
Yeah.
But
I ain't on that. That's a different level.
But that's dope though. And I sat back and, you know, I remember coming to one of your games, and we ain't talked to you at the game, but we came to it because I don't remember who y'all was playing. I think it was in Vidalia or something like that. I'm not sure.
It was basketball or football?
Basketball. Okay. I think it was in Vidalia, and we was there, and I remember somebody asking us who was there to see who was coming to see Titan County because you was playing. It was me and my daddy, and I think and Mr. Wetland or something like that, coming to see you. So, and I was like, man, this crazy, like. And this dude went from being in the projects in Glenville, you know what I'm saying, to now now he's starting as a quarterback and he the point guard.
Yeah, I never thought that would have happened.
So
never.
So and I know you're trying to stay humble in the situation, but when you got to that point to where had you ever thought like I'm the truth, like I can do this, like, or did you just left it on the field, you just played?
I just played, man. I like I said, like, you know, I was talking about this with a friend the other day. I never really, like, had the confidence that I should have had. Yeah. You know, I believed in myself. Don't get me wrong, but I just always thought there was another level I could go to, but I really didn't know how to get there. Yeah. If that makes sense, like, cause we lift weights, and you know. I'm just real big on like skill development. At the time, I didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? You know, so like I said, I wish I would have, if I would have threw more, trained more, or, you know, just work on different movements and work on reading coverages and work on my left hand, or, you know, work on certain skills, a step back, you know, and I'm kind of bouncing from sports, you know. You know, I guess I need to give myself a little credit because we did do some people, we did some people bad in football and basketball. You know, and we had a bunch of athletes. It happened at the right time, but you know, I was very humbled. But also, you know, I felt like it's just something was missing, and that's what it is. You know, I just didn't work. You know, like I didn't do the things that my student athletes are doing now, or my son's doing now. Yeah. You know, that to me that's what takes your game to the next level. You know, I was in high school and I could dribble with my left hand, but it wasn't as good as it should have been. Like, you know, and you know, I'm working on that with my son and a bunch of our athletes, and But it's hard to do that and understand that when you get to high school. You need to do that when you're 6, 7. And so when you get to high school, you've done it for so long, it's natural. You don't have to teach those skills. I mean, you want to, be disciplined and be fine in those skills, but you're working on other things than skill levels. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that makes sense. Because, like you said, y'all would just play.
We just played. We didn't work on skills.
So you weren't trying to get, you weren't spending your time getting better. In a sense, you was just you was just out here
just playing,
trying to be good.
Yeah.
But it's a difference, right? Because you can just be naturally good and get better over time, or you can just get out here and, all right, how does so and so do that? I need to figure out, this is what I need to do to figure out how to do that right there. So I'm gonna do this every day until I got this right here. So repetition makes it better. So versus just, I'm just gonna get out here and try to outplay you every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I get it.
For sure. Like, I mean, I watch a lot of, inspiration. I really like Kobe, and Kobe said it best, man. Like, in terms of skill, he would wake up. If you got a kid that's working out 3 times a day, feel what I'm saying? Like, he's waking up in the morning, working out, going to school, working out after school, go home, come back later on that night, working out. A kid working out 3 times a day, and then you got a kid working out 3 times a week. I mean, if they're neck and neck athletic ability, who's going to be better? It's simple. It's the guy that's been just working more on that skill. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's simple math. I mean, he just done it more than you have. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, we played more, but we didn't, or I didn't work on skill, and I didn't have the resources to. I didn't have, the guidance to. It didn't click with me until college, like late college, junior, senior year of college.
Man, I'm gonna say this too, because you keep saying confidence, right?
Right.
And just to speak from experience, like when you grow up and you don't, like, and some people react to it differently, but when you grow up and you don't have nothing, it kind of messes with your confidence. When you got to come around knowing that, all right, you ain't gonna have the shoes everybody else got, you ain't gonna dress like them. You ain't. So your confidence is not. You got some people, it don't matter what they got. That's just them. But then, it's hard to have that confidence when you're already kind of looking at yourself like, I'm already different because I can't do what these people do, or I ain't got what they got when they come around. So it do, because they mess with my confidence a little bit. Right. But the older I got, once I started working, it was like whatever. Like I was good.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I never really thought about, I never really thought about how much, I guess, my childhood affects little stuff like that, trauma and just things like that.
It's trauma because it's like, how much confidence can you have in yourself when you feel like you don't have anything, or you really not really anything?
And you compare, this person's got it. You don't, you feeling lesser than they are because they have it. And I mean that's not cool. I would never look down on a person, because I have more than them, or you know what I'm saying, or they have more than me, or whatever the case may be. But that's just, as a kid, you don't know anybody. That's just what you think.
You don't know nobody.
They probably picking on me. I smell like Newports walking in school. Shoes dirty. But
look, cause bruh, the stuff that we used to come to school in, I'm talking about, like, you look right now, my pants, I tell my kids now, we buy the pants with the holes in them. I remember wearing the same pants so much that the holes started busting out the knees just from wearing the same pants. Right.
And I remember going to, it was my first ever banquet, 7th grade. You go to a banquet, like most folks have on a polo, khakis, with Sperry's at that time. Man, T-shirt, gym shorts. And I thought I was clean. T-shirt, gym shorts, and just shoes, and and I bet you probably got people back there looking like, what is this boy? You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know, and I never thought about it. But when you get there, you look, hey, I'm a little underdressed. You know what I'm saying? But it kind of, that's what it was. So
just like you said, lucky for you, you had somebody to invest in, mentally and financially. Well, I wouldn't say financially, but just mentally. Invest their time in you, because somebody did the same thing for us. And I had like my cousin Juliet. If she ain't coming, you know what I'm saying, buy me those clothes for that same banquet that we would have for track and stuff like that, or, come get us to come cut grass and stuff. We wouldn't even have the little bit of stuff that we did have to give us any type of confidence. So confidence poverty plays a whole role in your confidence coming up, but it's still good that, as you started growing up and getting into yourself, that you ain't get cocky with it, you ain't stay humble, which is why I think you do so good, and why mentally, I can tell, mentally you strong.
Yeah, man, and I wouldn't have it any other way, to be real with you, because it makes you appreciate things more, it makes you look at things more differently, man, because there's some people now that's got a rough upbringing, man, kids, adults, just the way some people have to live, man, it's sad, man.
Yeah, it is sad.
And I can't, I can't control that. I could try to help best I can, but I'm only one person. I can't, it's just crazy how the world is, you know what I'm saying? How people have to grow up, it's just crazy.
All right, so you didn't go to college?
Yeah.
So you went to college. So what college did you go to?
So when I left, so I'm gonna kind of tell you the backstory of how I got recruited. So Vidalia, they had a kid, he was 6'7".
Yeah.
And he played, center, obviously, which times is different. Now you got 6'7" point guards. But he was 6'7", so he was getting recruited, and he was decent, and he was getting recruited because of his height.
Yeah.
So a lot of schools would come down and watch him, and Central Georgia Tech, and I still talk to this guy, but he was, it was in Macon. He was coming down to watch that kid, and, I happened to have a good night. I think I ended up with 26. So I hit 7 threes, something like that. And so I had a really good game. And after that game, the coach talked to him, but he also came and talked to me. He was like, yeah, man, we're interested. I want to kind of keep up with you. And he came to a couple more of our games and offered me a scholarship to go Central Georgia. That was only a 2-year, so that was a JUCO. And I had another school I could have went to in Alabama. It was a JUCO in Alabama, Shelton State or something like that. But I wanted to stay closer to home. I was ready to leave. After high school, I was ready to leave this town. And but I went 2 hours right there to Macon, Central Georgia Tech, and then played for them. I was all right, had a decent year. I ended up winning the starting spot, and had some moments, and then Auburn University at Montgomery, which is a Division II school in Alabama, the head coach is sort of from this area. He's from Long County, Larry Chapman. Shout out to Larry. Coach Chapman, I still talk to him. He actually came to my game a couple years ago in Long County, but anyway, he recruited me from Central Georgia Tech. He was actually recruiting me out of high school, but like I said, I wasn't a good test taker, so my SAT scores weren't where it would need to be. So he kind of kept tabs on me at Central Georgia, and he said he was going to get me out of there, and he did. So I lived in Montgomery, Alabama for the next 3 years playing basketball at AUM, and it's the best decision. That's probably the biggest decision that changed my life, man.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, how did that change your life? How did it make you feel to start, here and then end up now you somewhere that you ain't even really even considered growing up. Yeah. Nobody even say, listen, son, I'm gonna tell you, I want you to go to college. So this is what we're gonna do to make sure you get there, to actually growing up and getting there.
Right. I don't, man. It was dope. It was a really good experience, man, because I met, like you say, your basketball team is like your fraternity. So I still talk to a lot of those guys. Majority of the guys on that team I talk to, and I hold like a fundraiser. I hold basketball tournaments here, like men's tournaments, and just about all those guys come back and play. In that tournament. So, but just the experience and I was just kind of out there on my own. I really didn't know a whole a bunch about college, a whole lot about college. I'm listening to my advisors and trying to, pick up on this stuff and the terminology, and I'm trying to kind of figuring out as I go. The basketball kind of came easy, but in terms of like school and things like that, it was different, but I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? It just changed, different experience, man. You got all these different people from different states, Chicago, North Georgia, Tennessee, different, other sports there. You got kids from Australia and just everywhere. So just, talking to these people, learning different experiences, learning from them, going back to their hometowns, just all that just played a big role, man. And I just learned a lot. I learned a lot too with about life and
I'm fit to say, do you feel like you became an adult there?
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I could have went up there and just
went
not did
wild.
you could have went straight. I was like, I ain't going back home. I ain't going back to Glenville.
Yeah.
I gotta make something work, man. And it worked out, man. The story is crazy. It just so I didn't graduate from there. So I was on scholarship, and then again, like I didn't know, I actually had an aunt, my mom's sister. Excuse me, my mom's sister lived like 5 minutes from our campus, and I would go see her from time to time. And when I was done, like my senior year, when I was done playing basketball, in my mind, I'm like, dang, I'm from Georgia. I got a Georgia address. I'm about to have to pay out-of-state tuition if I stay here. Instead of just like, okay, I need to get a job, and I need to get an apartment here, or I need to move with my aunt. This is what I'm thinking, like later on. I moved back to Georgia.
Yeah.
So I didn't move to Glenville. I moved with my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time. We lived in Noonan, and ended up going to West Georgia. So I get to West Georgia in Carrollton, and they're like, I talked to the advisor there. They're like, yeah, none of these credits transferred, or none of my education, because my degree was in teaching, health and PE. And it was like, none of these education courses transfer. So like, and I had took a bunch of classes over the course of 3 years.
So you had to redo it?
So I had to redo it. I had to start my program all over. I had all my core stuff. So I had to start my program all over. So I did that. And, I was working like at Sherwin-Williams.
I was going to ask you, what was your first job?
Yeah. Well, my first job was Rotary here. When I was at AUM, it's another thing. I could have stayed up there. Some kids stayed and took summer classes and paid for them, but I couldn't. I couldn't afford it. I had to come back and work.
Yeah.
So I came back here and worked at Rotary during the summer, and I would play and just kind of live. You know what I'm saying? I would work, wake up, work, and, throughout the week and try to save money. So when I did start back school, I was okay. I could eat, you know what I'm saying, and buy whatever I wanted. So, yeah.
So, now you moved back down here. You going to college down here.
No, I'm in. Oh, you mean Georgia?
Yeah, just in Georgia.
Okay.
Just in Georgia, right? So, and you living with your girlfriend at the time?
Yeah.
All right. So, when did all that transition into, like, I guess, how long did it take for you to transition in from out of college to coaching? And was coaching the plan in the first place, or was you still planning on playing and trying to do more?
No, I had a couple.
Because you told me what you was majoring in just then, so that I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm wanting to coach. I wanted to coach and teach. I always had, since 7th grade, I had a passion to teach. Obviously, the goal was to go pro, but people don't understand the level of basketball. And a guy my stature, you have to be working on those skills that we talk about at a very young age. And it helps to have like a 2-parent household. And like I was okay, but I played against some dudes, so pros was out of the conversation. So I was like, all right, I'm a coach. So so when I moved to Noonan, I was going to school and working, and I started, like, I went to a local gym, just like that, Atlanta Fitness or One Life Fitness, and just started playing in there. And I was I was young and fresh and straight out of college, so I'm hooping, so I'm killing dudes up there. So, and it would be a couple coaches that would come in and just play, and I actually had an offer. I had an offer to coach a JV team up there, but it was like I had 2 offers to coach. Out of like just networking through basketball, just talking to people while hooping, you know what I'm saying? They see me and they obviously know I knew how to play basketball, so they're trying to get me, hey, what'd you do? I was in college. Hey, I'm a head coach. You want to come coach my JV team? And I would have loved to do it, but I had to work. I couldn't afford it. I had to work and make money. So it was Noonan High School and a private school down there, but I turned those down. To me, that's just crazy how networking with basketball. You know, I don't know anybody in Noonan.
Yeah.
Nobody, but my wife or my girlfriend at the time. You know what I'm saying? And then, so we fast forward a little bit. She gets pregnant. All right, with my first son, who's 7 now, and we're like, you know, I'm working at Sherwin-Williams, so I ain't really making a whole lot of money. It's a paste.
It's a what?
A paint store.
Oh, okay.
Sherwin-Williams.
Okay.
So I worked with Sherwin-Williams, and then, you know, when I moved to Noonan, I forgot to tell you this, but I reconnected with my dad. So he was working at a place, and he drove forklift. So he got me on there. So I worked there for a little bit, but it was nice. I never saw her. It was just a bunch of mess. She got pregnant, and we looking around at daycares and stuff, and like it's like $800 a month.
Yeah.
Like we can't afford this.
Daycare ain't no joke.
We can't afford this. So not me working at Sherwin-Williams or working at this job, you know, driving a forklift. So, you know, it's crazy. We went to a Georgia game. Somebody got me some tickets, me and her. And I saw my 8th grade head football coach, and in the bookstore at Georgia. He was like, hey, what's up, man? Nice to see you. What are you doing now? And I kind of told him what I just told you about school and all. And like, hey, listen, man. And I told him we were thinking about moving back home. It's like, listen, man, if you want to move back home, let me know, because I'll hire you at the middle school. You know, I just became the principal, and I can hire you in the PE department, and you can do that while you trying to finish your degree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Which is dope.
Well, that was dope. Yeah, you know, you just never. It's crazy. Imagine if I would have never went to that game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So.
Now think back further than that. Imagine if you didn't make a good impression on him.
Facts. Yeah, I could have been a turd or you know, and it was always.
He'd have just looked at you and be like, oh nah.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. But now he was like, yeah, I'll do this, and you know, at this time we ain't made our mind up, and we was like, all right, we gonna move back. And so I reached out to him, got the job, and then I started doing. I was like the ISS teacher. Don't be laughing.
No, because I remember the ISS teacher here. I still remember what he looked like.
Nah, I'm just playing. So I did ISS. Well, I was a parapro in the PE, and like when kids got in trouble and stuff, or ISS, I had to sit with them, and we called it like a work study program, and I just had to watch them. But I used that time to do my schoolwork. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And I was coaching football, and I was a head basketball coach, and so I used that time to do my schoolwork, and I did. I graduated. Obviously, it took me a little longer than 4 years to get a 4-year degree, and so I graduated, and then I guess the rest, they created a position for me, and the rest was kind of I guess the story's still being written.
Yeah, it's still so and we at like where we at today. So right now you the head coach.
Right.
For just basketball?
Yeah.
And how long you been the head coach now?
3. I'm about to start my 3rd year.
Yeah, so that's dope. So, like you said, the story's still being written outside of that. And I got this question from a friend, and I was talking to him about me interviewing you, and I was telling him the same thing I told you. I was like this is important to me. This is not just me doing something. This is like me interviewing somebody that I kind of, not for like a long period of time, but in that short period of time, like I said, you made a impression on him, you made a impression on me.
Right.
So, and we were just talking about questions, and one of the questions he told me to ask you was, right now, if you could give your younger self, your high school, 14, 15, 16-year-old self some advice, or if there's anything you could tell yourself at that time, like what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's what I told him.
I don't know, man. Just be patient. work, continue to work, and everything's gonna work out the way it's supposed to work out. Because I would worry a lot, you know, and I'm not even a worrier, but I would just worry about, you know, I wanted to be successful no matter what, you know what I'm saying? So, and I was always worried about, you know, going back to my environment or going back to living like that. And I just never wanted to, do that. And, you know, I would just, you know, I probably would tell myself that you need to work a little bit harder. Yeah, just be patient and everything. Everything's gonna work out in your favor, man. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question. That's probably what I would tell myself, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I probably would tell myself, but to shorten it up, yeah, don't stress yourself out.
Okay.
You know, if you do right, everything's gonna work itself out.
Yeah. Which is actually what you kind of did. Though.
You know what's crazy, and I don't like to say stuff. I don't like to brag and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've done everything that I wanted to do, like, as far as like my career. You know what I'm saying? I've done everything. I remember in college I had a team master to talk to him. He still comes down every year and play in that tournament. He had a mentor. This is while I'm in AUM, Auburn University at Montgomery. So he had a mentor and that lived in like Alabaster, and we started coaching the AAU team together in Birmingham, which is in Alabaster's in Birmingham. I'm like, dude, we got to get to this. We got to get to these people's house. So he's like, man, we got to stop right here. So I need to talk to my mentor. I was like, nah, bro, we got to go.
Yeah.
We don't need to stop. And he's like, man, just stop. I'm like, I ain't getting out, man. Just go handle your business, and then come back. So I'm glad he did. So what happened was I ended up getting out meeting this guy. He was a head coach. I don't know why I didn't. I'm like, I need to talk to this guy. He's where I want to be. So I ended up doing that, and just he was like, man, yeah, y'all here for the summer, man. Y'all need to work this camp down here in Vestavia Hills, which is a real nice part of Alabama, a real nice part of Birmingham, and. So long story short, we start working this camp. This guy was like a assistant player personnel for the Brooklyn Nets. The guy that ran the camp, and doing that camp, that's the same camp. Like we hold a kids camp every year. It's my third year doing it, and it's the same structure of the way they did that camp.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I always wanted to do stuff like that to give back. Like it clicked. I'm like, well, why ain't we training? When we ended up staying with that guy when we worked the camp, and at night he would train kids. He would come in and like in this gym he would have station here, training kids about the skill development. And we're going into my senior year at this time, so we're training too. You know what I'm saying? I'm like. It kind of light bulb just kind of went off. I'm like, dang, why wasn't I doing this when I was in school?
Yeah.
Like if I was doing this, I would have been a whole lot better than what I was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where that confidence level, but doing that, man, or just being there, I was like, I want to do this back in my hometown. You know what I'm saying? I want to open a gym and I want to do this camp, for the kids in my city, and I've done like a lot of those things that I envisioned or I wanted to, that I dreamed of doing, coming back here, clinics, camps, and just trying to change the culture of the basketball program and get the kids to believe in you and buy into you and trust you.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? So I've and again, like, we still got more to do, but I've accomplished what I wanted to so far. I ain't nowhere near being done, but
yeah. I wouldn't look at it as bragging, right? Because bragging is more, I can do it and you can't do it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you gotta look at yourself as accomplishing something, because I do the same thing to myself too, right? People be telling me, yeah, you need to look at everything you do as a big deal. But me, I'm like, I'm just doing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to be good at it, but I'm not gonna talk your head off about what I'm doing good. So it's still like you still gotta sit back and look at yourself and, you know, feel like you accomplished something so you can feel good about what you got going on.
Right.
So you can have a smile on your face, at least when you think about yourself,
Yeah,
if nobody else do.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because people do. Now, this my last, I guess, suggestion. You got anything, because there's a lot of people out there that watch what you're doing. You know, they listen to everything you say. They pay attention. Even the people that you don't think is paying attention to you, they paying attention to you. They watching what you're doing.
Right.
You know, is there anything you would like to say to any, I guess, some younger Quayseans out there that could be growing up in the same situation you in or not, or people just going through, you know, low confidence or low self-esteem? You know, anybody going through that, is there anything you could, you know, you would like to say to, you know, just people out there that try to help and inspire them?
I try to tell people, a lot of the kids that I teach, coach, adults, like, I think it's a superpower if you, like, believe in yourself to the, you know, to, like, the utmost degree, like, and not
no matter
like
what.
Yeah, not like bragging or cockiness, but like believe in yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you really can do anything that you really put your mind to, especially in the days where, I mean, you have so many resources to do. So I would just challenge. You know, it don't have to be. My ticket was basketball.
Yeah.
You know, it don't have to be sports or basketball. It could be anything else, but just dive into it, research it, and if you want to accomplish it, you know, you can do it. But it ain't just gonna happen. Now you have to lock in, and you have to, you know, work, you know, and put the work in a crazy amount of work. You know, a lot of people don't understand, you know, what it takes. I didn't understood. I wanted to be a head coach at a high school level, and it's, you know, I love it. Like, I love what I do. I feel like I wake up and I don't even come to work. You know what I'm saying? Just because
That's good.
You know, I love what I do, but it's a lot too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff that I didn't think about, you know, that went into it. And I wouldn't change it for anything. I'm not complaining. But I just challenge people to believe in yourself. Find yourself. Like, you have to. It's another superpower to know who you are as a person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we got a lot of people who, you know, again, they do have these resources where they got Instagram, Snap, and they look at the next person. Oh, he got this, so I want that.
Yeah.
So they're always competing with the next person instead of, like, finding their true self. You know what I'm saying? And knowing who they are, so nobody else can say or can have a remote control to your life. There's you know, in my profession. These stands filled, there's gonna be plenty of people that's not gonna agree with what I do, or I may not play their kid enough, but that's fine. I'm at peace with the decisions I make. I know it's pure. I know it comes from a good place. I see these kids every day. You know what I'm saying? So I think you can't listen to what everybody else say about you, because people's gonna have their own opinions, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna make everybody happy. So you can't let, you know, the outside noise, oh, you can't do that. You can't become a YouTube star. You can't do that. You know, you can't let negative people like that control the narrative of your life or controls the thoughts of yourself or how they view you. If you know you, I know myself. I feel like, you know, I know who I am, and there ain't nobody can tell me, oh, Quaysean this. No, you can say whatever you want, but it's not gonna bother me because I know who I am as a person. You know what I'm saying? So I can't. So find yourself, man. Work hard. You can do anything. You can do anything you put your mind to. That's something I try to instill in my kids at a very young age, because a lot dealing with high school kids, a lot of kids struggle. I don't want him to look at me, or no, you know, they're so worried about the next person's opinions of themselves that it'll stop them from doing something. And we all struggle with it. I ain't perfect by no means in terms of that. You know, I've struggled, but, you know, I know who I am, and I don't let, you know, I'm at peace with my life and who I am as a person, and what I do as far as my profession and my family and things like that, man. So I would just challenge them to be yourself, find yourself, and you're gonna go through some things. You may have some bumps in the road or some obstacles. We all do. So, but you can't get too high. It's something I tell my student athletes, man. You can't get too high. You can't get too low. Like when the things are going good, you can't just be like, hey, you know. And when they're going bad, you can't just give up. You got to find that happy medium.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? You just can't. Or you got to try your best not to get too happy. It's easy.
Yeah,
Things
have
go
a short
wrong.
celebration.
Yeah, man.
And then back to work.
Yeah, we back to work.
Yeah, because
You know
if you
what I'm
keep celebrating,
now
you're forgetting to work now.
Yeah, facts. So
you
just a foundation of work for sure, yeah.
Yeah, that make a lot of sense though. And it is hard because you got to come in here, you got to be the coach, you got to be like a dad, you got to be a teacher, therapist, you got to be social worker, you got to be psychologist.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you got to be everything. So we know it's not easy.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? So, like I said, man, proud of you. I appreciate you taking the time out to do this for me.
I enjoyed it, bro.
Yeah, man, me too, man. I feel like it gave me time to catch up with you in a sense too. And kind of get to know you all over again, even though I feel like I know you, but you're a man now.
Yeah,
you know, when the last time I seen you and been around you like that, you've been a kid.
Right.
So, you know, I appreciate you, man. I'm proud of you, man. Great job.
I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
All right, man.
Anytime, bro. Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right.
Sir.
All right, y'all. We out.
Live a fly life and live a fly